So, today's case is all about Sharon Carr, Britain's youngest female killer. She was also known as the Devil's Daughter. So, let's get into the stinky details. Sharon Carr had a difficult upbringing. Her father was a violent drunk and her mother had a terrible temper. At the age of 11, she started smoking and developed a habit of killing pets around in her local area. But the killing of animals was never enough to satisfy Sharon's murderous appetite. Moving on to the story, in the summer of 1992, Katie Racliffe, a hairdresser, she split up with her boyfriend. To take her mind off from the recent breakup, she went club with her friends on 6th of June in Kimberley. The group of friends enjoyed themselves at the nightclub until the early hours of the morning. After the club closed, Katie starts to walk home, but unfortunately, her journey was not completed and her body was found in the street 3 miles away from the club. Katie had been violently stabbed to death. There were 27 separate wounds and some of the knife blows and had gone straight to her body. Her intimate part also been mutilated, but there was no sign of sexual assault. Police assumed that the killer must be a man due to the aggressive nature of attack on the intimate part, so they decided to focus on the male suspect in and around the club or nearby area where her body was found. However, actually Katie was killed by a little girl, Sharon Carr, who was just 12 years old when she attempted that murder. Remarkably, Sharon could have avoided punishment if she just kept her mouth shut. So the identity of Katie's killer remained unknown for like 2 years, and then on the second anniversary of Katie's death, Sharon struck again at the Collingwood College, a secondary school in Kimberley. Sharon lured a fellow pupil named Anne-Marie into the toilet, pretending that she lost a pound coin and she needs some help. Although Sharon was a violent and dangerous kid, and if you asking for help, so nobody could say no, so Anne-Marie quietly followed her toward the bathroom or toilet. When Anne-Marie back was turned, Sharon withdrew a knife and stabbed her from her behind. The blade pierced through Anne-Marie's chest, causing severe damage to her lungs. Sharon then stood over the dying girl and smiled. Now look how insane this girl was. She was tossing the knife from one hand to another like she was enjoying the whole process, like she was enjoying killing or hitting somebody, and she's enjoying the whole process. At that moment, a group of girls entered the toilet. A member of staff was notified like immediately and the police arrived. Anne-Marie survived the attack, luckily, though she was left scarred by the incident both mentally and physically. Meanwhile, Sharon was transferred to Bullwood Hall, a young offender institute in Hockley, but the police still had no idea that Sharon had murdered somebody. During her years at the institute while she was taking her treatment, Sharon continued to troublesome, though she didn't kill anyone, but she voiced her desire to murder an other resident by slitting their head open and breaking their neck. She also started bragging about her previous crime, including the murder of Katie Racliffe. The staff who worked there at the institute heard her talking about the Katie's death and how she enjoyed the murder. After being notified of Sharon's claim, the police then discovered her diary. As well as providing details about Katie's death, the diary also shed light how much Sharon enjoyed killing. So let's just read a quote from her diary. It says, "I was born to be a murderer. Killing for me is a mass turn on, and it's just to make me so high and never wanted to come down. Every night I see the devil in my dreams, sometime even in my mirror, but I realize it's just me." Look how insane this girl was. Like, she's a devil though. After that, the press picked up to this reference to Satan, and before long, Sharon was known as the Devil's Daughter. Now it's time for confession. Sharon was then questioned by the police. Far from hiding her crime, she readily admitted to killing Katie in the summer of 1992. Like, she admit quickly, and she even gave little tiny details about the murder of Katie Racliffe. In fact, she gave 3 different accounts of the killing. The consistent part of her stories was that she stabbed Katie like repeatedly. Sharon also claimed to be aided by 2 male who helped her abducting Katie, so she may have invented this aspect of the story. Despite Sharon's various accounts, the police were confident that she was guilty for this murder. She was able to describe an injury which hadn't been public information at the time of her confession. And for another, she also knew about the bracelet that had been stolen from the body of Katie Racliffe. With the exception exception of Katie's family, only the killer would have noticed. Detective Hall, who interviewed Sharon extensively, said that she was like in a different world. Sharon talked about her wickedness with a frightening level of coldness. She felt like no emotion toward either of the victims she had attacked at random. Sharon's 4-week trial began at Winchester Crown Court in March 1997, almost 5 years after she killed Katie. She was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 12 years. Shortly after her sentence, Sharon was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, a mental condition where the victim experienced hallucination, mood swings, and depression. Though it's been 23 years since Sharon's trial, she is still seen as a danger to the British public. She currently residents in HMP Bronzefields, a female prison on the outskirts of Ashford. Due to her unstable condition, Sharon is likely to remain there for the rest of her life. You guys find this content interesting and informative? If you did, then like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.